morning, President Tian of IMPR, Professor Issa Baluch, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. Good morning. My name is RCU. I'm the Senior Advisor of Institute for National Heart Research. Purpose today is to explore the opportunities in the future to introduce Taiwan NGO's capability to African countries. It was initiated by Dr. Jack Gao and Professor Zhen. We believe there are 4 fields that could be introduced to Africa. Number 1 is agriculture. Number 2, small and medium-sized enterprises. Number 3, education. And lastly, public health. As my boss just mentioned, I was fortunate enough to involve in the NGO international participation for a number of years. And I'm convinced that with the support of international connection, that Taiwan's NGO will be able to explore more visibility, especially in the developing countries. Probably you know that there are a lot of NGO leadership who are leading international NGO now. To give you one example is that Mr. Gary Gao, who is the 2015 and 16 president of Rotary International, he is the first Chinese to lead the 1.2 million Rotarian in the world. And the others, we are so impressed for his leadership. And today, we are fortunate to have 5 presentations. I would want to begin with my colleagues. Ambassador Zhao, who is a very seasoned diplomat. His last job was ambassador to the Kingdom of Eswatini. And he's going to tell us many fine stories. Let us sit back and enjoy his presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't know where am I supposed to stand or
Stand in the podium if you like, or any.
Maybe I might as well stand here so that can give me a better location. Anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, President Tian, my previous boss back in the MOFA days, and also Professor Baluch. Well, for your reference, sir, I'm also a Harvard Kennedy School graduate. So now you got one more colleague from Harvard. Well, today we're talking about Africa. So ladies and gentlemen, you can tell I'm wearing a special tie today with African touch, with all the animals here. Well, I was about a month or so ago under the instruction of INPR to talk about the so-called successful stories on international cooperation and development, ICD, between Taiwan and Africa. Well, I can hardly claim that I'm the expert on African affairs. However, I did spend 3 years' time in Africa. Well, to be exact, I was, as you heard, the Taiwanese ambassador to the Kingdom of Eswatini, formerly then was called Swaziland, from year 2006 to 2009. Well, that's my 3 unforgettable and memorable part of my life, years. So let's continue. Because of our time constraint, I might as well skip the content list. Just come straight to the content itself, with your permission. So, first page, background. Briefly, let's have a look at the Taiwan's relations with Africa. Our diplomatic ties with some African countries back in the 1960s, okay, have turned somehow, on the wane, since 1970s. We used to be, Taiwan, the Republic of China, used to be one of the most popular and one of the most active countries in helping the African people back in the Cold War era. Until 1970s, what happened to Taiwan? Our membership in the UN was suspended I hate to use the word terminated. I hope someday Power China can come back to the UN one day. Let's keep our hopes and dreams alive. So, nevertheless, despite the diplomatic setbacks, we remain still popular in Africa today with our continued ICD commitment and progress there. So let's have the whole map of Africa. The country I'm talking about later on, because I'd like to share my humble experience for my ambassadorship in the Kingdom of Eswatini. And Swaziland was then, it's called Swaziland. It's right located in the southeastern corner of African continent, it's right here. Surrounded by Mozambique on the eastern side and South Africa on the west and north side. And now, as Kingdom of Eswatini has always stands as a strong diplomatic ally, Power has continuously sustained and strengthened our ICD cooperation with the African monarchy. All right, brief introduction of the kingdom here. The kingdom itself, the size of the area is about half of Taiwan, and the population is slightly over 1 million, okay? And that is a country of Christianity. So what I was told of this assignment back in 2006, and I was told that this country is a Christianity, I was so blessed because I myself, I'm a Christian. I think it must be God's calling for me to get there. And all right, here, I'd like to pause for 1 second. My life and time, life and work spent in Eswatini can be characterized by two phrases, if I may humbly use, the king and I, and grassroots diplomacy. When I talk about the king and I, I'm now referring to the American musical, or Hugh Brenner and Deborah Carr in the movie back in those days. And then here I'm talking about the real His Majesty, the King of Eswatini, Mswati III. Well, sincerely and seriously, I respect the King, and because he and I, the King and I, it's my honor and pleasure. We have been able to develop a very special friendship between His Majesty and my humble self. I respect him for his leadership, and I admire him for his passion toward the Eswatini monarchy, and also as well as his care for the Swahili people's livelihood and his commitment to the national development. And His Majesty, first time, shortly after my arrival there, His Majesty honored me with his presence and my humble residence for dinner. And I was told that was unprecedented. But His Majesty was never allowed to appear in any private residence or restaurant for dinner as long as he is staying in the kingdom. And then because he can be allowed to have dinner or lunch or breakfast, whatever, only at the royal palace. But he broke the tradition, came to my residence for dinner. And that was the first time. And also, that's shortly after my arrival there. And before my departure, twice in total, His Majesty came to my residence as ambassador's residence for dinner. And I was told very humbly, this record has not been broken as yet. Okay, and then grassroots. Although I have given the friendship between the king and I still want to, make myself exposed to the Swazi people. I don't want to have myself confined in the air-conditioned, embassy room. I can proudly and sincerely share with my Taiwanese friends that during my 3 years' time there, I did set my foot on almost every corner of a Swazi soil. So the grassroots diplomacy, that's what I've been launching and also put into action. Some pictures here. Okay, and then this one. This one is a special one. It's called the Ngwala. You know Ngwala by Swazi term. Our Swazi lady knows what I'm talking about. It's in English, it's a warrior's march. All the Swazi military personnel or the king's bodyguard, they have to walk for 30 kilometers. It's a long walk, long march. And thanks to my embassy staff and my humble self, we also joined them for this long, not long, I had to use the word long march, but it's a 30 kilometers march. And then my sneakers were worn out after this walk. Okay, about the ICB practice in Eswatini, I'd like to share with you two ICB practice. One is a Taiwan technical mission in Eswatini. Our technical mission in the kingdom has been one of the largest around the world since 1970s. I was told even now today is the largest staff technical mission of this kind around the world. Here is what it looks like today. And the gentleman standing in the middle, Ye Changqing, he and I we worked together then. And now he's back to Swatini for also technical mission director. He and I, not only we were colleagues working together, he became my partner and my good friend working in the Eswatini. And the two parts of the work of Taiwan Technical Mission Eswatini. One is agricultural support. Of course, you know very well. The Taiwan Technical Mission used to be called Taiwan Agricultural Mission in Africa. And I heard of this term since my childhood. Always a beautiful story. And now it changed the name into Taiwan Technical Mission. Not only for agriculture support, but also for some other assistance. Quickly, let me share some pictures here. The picture on the left, agriculture, okay, maize and some of the sorghum, 高粱, okay. There was a time I thought about maybe helping the Swazi government to turn 高粱, the agriculture into a 高粱spirit that can help, help their economy. And then on the right hand side, on the right hand side, see those pictures. This gentleman standing on my right hand side or your left hand side is Wu Guanghui. He's an expert on the agriculture, development, not only for the for some of the vegetable fruits, but also for some see those pictures. They are very they're looking at with they have a crush on Wu Guanghui. They love him so much, Okay, let's quickly go to the next few pictures. Vocational training here. Okay, see the handshake. It's a special African handshake. Vocational training. And the Taiwan Medical Mission, that is a special, deal because I was very fortunate to help establish the Taiwan Medical Mission in Eswatini. And the gentleman, here's a press conference. On the left-hand side, Cho Wen-da, who was then the Taipei Medical University president. Later, he became the Minister of Health. And the gentleman on my left-hand side is Du Tichen. Now he's the director of the Taiwan Medical Mission in Eswatini. Here's a briefing for then the Prime Minister of Eswatini about the medical mission. Okay, here is what it looks like. And a special donation of the wheelchair and walking stick. And this gentleman is the late Prime Minister of Eswatini. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, and I miss him so much. All right, this picture, World Vision of Swaziland, World Vision of Taiwan. They sent a delegation to visit, and then which was led by a Goodwill Ambassador. All the time, the World Vision had to be led by a Goodwill Ambassador. And that time, the Goodwill Ambassador normally is a public figure, and then the top model of Taiwan, Lin Zhiling. 2006, only 5 days after my arrival there, when I was told that Lin Zhiling is coming to Eswatini with a world vision of Taiwan's delegation, instinctively, I want to go to the airport to greet him, professionally and personally, of course. But on a second thought, if I did that, how would my wife's reaction be? So now I have 2 things to cover. So within less than 1 minute, I came up with my solution to cover both. But if I didn't go there, and then the world vision of Taiwan will suspect that this ambassador is putting too much air, so snobbish. If I send my staff there, so try to cover both. I sent my wife to greet them at the airport. So I think there's a so-called crisis management. All right, and then so they met, and this is a dinner on that day in the evening. I hosted in honor of Lin Zhiling and World Vision Swaziland. And then this picture, I'd like to draw your special attention to this picture. You see, at a dinner table, when I was standing, giving the brief remarks, Lin Zhiling, she was staring upwards to me in admiration. And then my wife, sitting in the middle, squinting at her with suspicion. But anyway, they end up as good friends. So, as the saying goes, ladies and gentlemen, particularly my gentlemen friends, you can never be too careful to maintain the homeland security. All right, quickly, okay, I'm running my time. It's a NGO Taiwan Root Medical Peace Corps, Taiwan Root Zuhui, led by Liu Qiquan, okay, and quickly, the picture, I was rubbing on the lady because, and then this picture was taken on the, in the newspaper, which is a liberal newspaper, not necessarily supporting Taiwan, but I convinced their newspaper to know I'm really, willing to help my Swazi friends. So they give me a nickname, Mashesha, means Mr. Fast Action, and I was very honored. So this 4-page article was written by the so-called leading opposition columnist or journalist. He was always against Taiwan, pro-mainland China. And before my departure, he came out with a 4-page, very passionate article. Well, I was really flattered by his kind words. He's a true friend of the Swazi nation. All right, I'm coming to the end. Okay, okay. Okay, this picture, I have to make a special introduction. This King Mswati III, this gentleman, you know who he is. President of South Africa. He's a big shot, the most powerful gentleman of whole African countries. Jacob Zuma, he was visiting Eswatini, and the king came to my reception. The king and I, we met from time to time. But that day, he brought this South African friend accidentally to appear in my reception. So the king and I, we both were very happy, but he was not so. He looked very serious and tense. It's accidental. But for his sake, I did not reveal this picture to BBC or CNN. Okay, so I keep it as my personal collection. I'd like to share that with you, ladies and gentlemen, here. So please don't reveal that to Yizuokan or Pingguo Ribao. All right? So another picture. Okay, the king, he came to Taiwan attending President Tsai Ing-wen's inaugural 3 years ago. On next day, May 21st, he had to see me. So we are taking pictures together. That was 7 years after my departure from Eswatini. But I will still appreciate his friendship, even without, I haven't been there. He and I became good friends. So that's about what I can tell you. And thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. I appreciate your attention.
Thank you, Ambassador Zhao.